Hello everyone, it is Shadows1 and I'm here to present to you guys some more League of Legends action. I know I said I would be bringing you Dota 2 this week, but I thought I would go ahead and just do one more League of Legends game, and then I'm only going to be able to bring you 2 Dota 2 games. So, it's only going to be Monday, obviously, and then Wednesday, Friday, the other 2 games will be available. But, yeah guys, hopefully you all enjoy this, and as always, let's just jump right into the action. I paused it, got in 2 minutes 17 seconds in, just because that's what happens. I did pause it, and as we can see, the game is still going on. All I really did was swap around who's in what lane. It actually looks like I still made a mistake here, so it looks like, oh, there we go. Kennen's top versus Katarina. Yeah, there we go. So, gonna go ahead and unpause the game here, and let us have a good game. So we've got Katarina, Elise, Zed, Ezreal, and Sona versus, or Soraka rather, and meantime, Zed gets a kill on Lulu. So obviously there's a Lulu, Graves gets the kill on Zed. It looks like now Graves looking to go out for blood here on this Soraka, as is Ezreal actually, which you don't often see Ezreal actually doing something like this, but Graves picks up the kill on Soraka. We got Elise now trying to run for her life, and I just realized that Ezreal is on the blue team, not the purple team. Elise trying to go ahead and save her teammate Ezreal here, but fails to do so. Amumu picks up the kill on Ezreal, and looks like Elise will get away by a sliver of health. But yeah, looks like we've got Katarina, Elise, Zed, Ezreal, and Soraka versus Kennen, Amumu, Veigar, Graves, and Lulu. Overall, it's hard to call it, but given Graves is 2-0 right now, Amumu's 1-0, as is Veigar, I have to give the edge to the purple team right now. Obviously, we don't know the full details, but we can speculate just based upon what we see right now. And Kennen already putting the hurt onto this Katarina here. Katarina has no more potions. She just went ahead and queued up all 3 of her potions at the same time. You don't get extra healing, it's just you don't have to, press the potion button an extra time. That is the biggest difference. But, yeah, it's going to be a pretty standard game from here on out, it looks like. Just a little harassment here and there, nothing too major. Lulu will take a couple of hits, but nothing that's going to be life-threatening at the moment. Looks like we're going to have a Veigar. Well, Veigar just, doing what he can versus Zed. They did nerf, they did nerf Zed a little bit. Just a little bit, but really, overall, he should still be about the same. If he gets enough AD at the later levels, his ultimate will pretty much 3-shot Veigar. And I am not even joking. Meantime, this Katarina just really playing it close to the chest right now, being as defensive as possible. It's just a bad spot for her to be in right now. Kennen's just out harassing her, but she's still staying on the same level as Kennen as far as farm goes. There's about a 1 kill difference between them, so it's not a huge amount. Plus, Katarina does have an edge slightly with, her bouncing blade and everything. Let's just take a look real quick. Bouncing blade hits, 4, 5 targets. 4. Or 5 rather. So yeah, 5 targets, whereas Kennen can only hit 1 with his Q. Then has to put himself in harm's way with his lightning rush to go ahead and try and do more damage, and it's even riskier from there on out for Kennen. Now the biggest difference right now at the bottom is Ezreal's only got 21 farm, whereas Graves has 32, and Graves also has, not first blood gold, but, kill gold, so he's already, just overall, he's made 2.2k, close to 2.3k now gold, whereas Ezreal's only made about 1.3k, close to 1.4 at this point in time. It's definitely not the place Ezreal wants to be, and he doesn't want to be behind by any stretch of the imagination. He'd rather be on par or obviously slightly ahead. At this point in time, he has to play catch up, and by catch up I mean he has About, what is that, 9k to go? Or not 9k, 900 gold difference between him and Graves. That's really massive, and Ezreal's just trying to stay alive at this point and get as much farm as he possibly can. But Graves right now doing a lot of damage to that Ezreal. But Ezreal still does have a health potion, and he does have a support that can heal him, but doesn't look like that's going to matter. Veigar right now chased away by Zed, and Elise comes in to help Zed against Amumu, and Elise right now trying to do some damage to that Veigar. But Veigar wisely stays right behind the tower, and he will survive for just now. But Zed with a nice ult onto Amumu, he won't be able to get the kill on Amumu, I think. But it wasn't enough damage to actually scare Amumu away, and Amumu's going to have to back out here relatively soon. Same thing with Veigar. Yeah, they can, they can survive, but only just. In the meantime, Soraka gets the kill on Graves down here at bottom, and she's looking to go for the kill on Lulu as well. In the meantime, Elise gets the kill on Amumu in middle. And that Soraka's seriously just out for blood right now, and she's going to die underneath the tower to Lulu. Definitely not the best play, and Graves already now has his BF sword. So we can tell what he's rushing. He's going for Bloodthirster, because why not? Pretty solid item. Meantime, Elise gets the kill on Lulu way behind the tower, and her spiderlings just tank the tower for her. Very good play. Very good play indeed by Elise. Wish there was something else to say right now, but Blue Team is definitely making a strong comeback. Right now, just the goal differences between the tops, very, very marginal, about 100 gold, so about 3 or 4 creeps. As we can see, it's actually whopping 4, or 3 now. Between the jungles, not a huge amount, it's about 200 in favor of Elise. Between the middles, it's 300 in favor of Zed because he does have a kill. Whereas Veigar only has, actually he has a kill as well, and it's several assists, but it's not enough to outweigh the farm that Zed has been able to accumulate. Between the ADCs, it's about 800 still in favor of Graves, and the supports is about 200 in favor of Lulu. Meantime, we got Veigar coming up here trying to get the kill on Katarina with the help of Amumu, obviously, but Katarina forced to use her flash to get out of there, but I feel that was a wasted flash. She was in no real threat of dying. Meantime, this Kennen's going ahead and backing away here, thus making Katarina be able to farm even more. And she will be way ahead in farm. It looks like they're both building towards an Abyssal Scepter first. And actually, she's only 2 ahead, so not a huge margin. She's definitely making Kennen work for the gold. But as of right now, Kennen's, I think, going a little hybrid. You don't usually get a Doran's Blade if you're going, AP Kennen. You get, a shield or something like that. Or boots and potions. You don't often get a Doran's Blade unless you want to go some sort of hybrid. And hybrid tends to not really work all that well. Meantime, it looks like Elise right now trying to set up to go ahead and steal this blue. And Veigar knows all about it, and Veigar catches her with a Event Horizon? Is that, yep, Event Horizon. Yay! I got his name right for a spell! But no, seriously. I'll probably never do that voice ever again, by the way. Or that impression, I guess I should say. But, yeah, Zed right now just pulling way in the lead. 99 versus 41. Zed more than doubling Veigar's creep kills right now and getting close to tripling it. That is just not a good sight. But then again, Veigar is trying to mostly get Qs off on minions to build up his AP. He's only at plus 26, which isn't a lot. He definitely wants to have a lot more, and obviously if he can get Qs off onto the siege minions, that'll be even better because they give him triple instead of just 1. Zed right now getting the kill on Veigar, and Amumu getting the kill on Zed over here in the middle. Gotta think that that red and blue certainly helped Amumu. Right now Elise going straight for the dragon, but she doesn't have any help and she knows it, so she's gonna go ahead and back out, try and go and help bottom here, This Ezreal's in very, very grave danger of dying here, pardon the pun. And Ezreal dies to Graves, but Elise gets the kill on Graves. And now it looks like this Soraka just silencing and doing star calls left and right onto this Lulu, and she has to go ahead and, picks away. Yes, I did say picks, because, she used, help picks, and she also used whimsy. So I guess you can say it was a whimsical picks. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'll just stop with the bad puns and jokes, and although I really won't. In the meantime, Katarina dies up here to Kennen. She was a little too overzealous and tried to go underneath the tower. As we can see, she was in range of the tower, just barely though. But this Zed man, he's definitely making Veigar work for the gold. Veigar can just clear the creep waves if he gets Dark Matter level 2 or 3. He'll be able to clear out all the range minions no problem. Or caster minions, rather. But again, he wants to get that Q leveled up so that way he can, just start hitting like a truck because it will give him bonus AP. He's one of the few champions that scales exponentially. Like, he can theoretically not have a AP cap, primary attribute cap pretty much. There are very, very few champions that are like that, and he's one of them. Meantime, we got Elise getting killed right there by Veigar. Veigar shutting down her killing spree, but Zed getting the kill on Amumu, so very good for him. But yeah, what I mean by exponentially growing is, or primary attribute exponentially growing is, the more Veigar gets kills with his Q, his Baleful Strike, the more AP he gains. If he gets kills on a champion or if he gets kills on a champion or large minions or monsters such as the, Kennen minion or the, giant wolf, the blue golem, anything that'll give him a buff in some sort of way or heal him, he'll get he'll get 3 AP instead of just 1 for that kill. That's if he kills anything with any, that's if he kills a champion with anything, he gets 3 AP. If he kills anything with Baleful Strike, he can get 1 to 3 AP. So, yeah. He can exponentially grow if he farms his Q to the best of his abilities, his Baleful Strike. And one of the other champions like that is Nasus. And that is just strictly because his Q, his Siphon Strike, again, same concept. But wow, we got a nice skirmish going on down here. Dragon. While I'm saying all this, it looks like Zed and Elise are going straight for Dragon, and they will manage to pick up Dragon. But this Amumu, can he ult? He can ult. This Amumu is looking for the perfect time. He gets the perfect time. Nice ult by Lulu. Lulu, just beautiful ult right there, managing to help. Somebody almost got a kill here. Zed, meantime, gets the kill on Graves. Veigar gets the kill on Elise. Amumu gets the kill on Zed, thanks to a perfect bandage toss. And now this Ezreal dies to Lulu. Definitely not what he wanted to have happen. But this Soraka, man, Soraka just tanking for a little bit, and Veigar gets the kill onto Soraka. And Katarina now trying to get the kill on somebody here. She doesn't have her ult, she has Flash available. She doesn't have Shumpo available though. What she would like to do is Shumpo into, the middle champion, whoever's in the middle of all 3 of them. And just ult. So that way her ult hits everybody. She can. That was just a bad flash right there, and she knows it, so she has to go ahead and Shumpo her way out of there. And she gets decent ult off onto that Amumu, but, Amumu right now just really, really just not caring. He's like the honey badger. Honey badgers don't give a crap. Same thing with this Amumu. Meantime, Kennen just pushing top like a boss. I don't necessarily know if that's the best thing that Katarina just let Kennen out-farm her. But Katarina now does have her Abyssal Scepter, but Kennen has the Hextech Revolver, so yeah, take that how you want to. Meantime, Elise right now trying to steal the blue, and she does manage to do that. Very, very good for Elise. That would allow Zed to go ahead and pick up the blue, which he actually has as well. And very decently timed ult by Zed. did allow Katarina to get the kill, but I don't know. Zed, he did have to ult and then use his Blade of the Rune King to slow Kennen down, otherwise they would not have been able to kill her. Meantime, this Ezreal down here just taking a bunch of punishment, and he's gonna have to go ahead and, you know, do something to get out of the way. No, he will not be able to. Amumu with the perfect bandage toss, allowing Graves to go ahead and smoke bomb on top of him, and Ezreal was just dead past that. Smoke bomb, smoke screen, same thing. You guys know what I meant. And now this, yeah, this Amumu is just kind of being a big old bully. Meantime, Katarina will go ahead and take this top tower out and be ahead in the farm. So it's a nice trade-off going on here up at top. You know, Katarina gets some, or let's say Kennen gets some farm, gets the tower. Katarina then comes up top, gets some farm, gets the tower. That's an okay way of doing things until they reach the second tower on both sides. Decent ult by Ezreal won't, you know, do any real sort of damage that Graves can't just get healed through with his Bloodthirster. It is fully maxed out now, so yeah, take that how you want to. Just saying. And oh yeah, they did nerf the lifesteal on that a little bit. Meantime, surprise, surprise, the middle tower hasn't died for the blue team, and the bottom tower hasn't died for either team. But good ult right there by Amumu, catching somebody out there, well, catching all of them out there, but Elise still gets the kill on Graves, so she doesn't really care. Meantime, Veigar gets the kill on Zed in middle with the help of Kennen. Bandage toss just kind of whipped right there by Amumu, and you know, blue team now is trying to go ahead and just take this tower out. It's high time they get that tower out. Like, Lulu's pretty low on health, Veigar's certainly nowhere near them, and wow, Ezreal trying to go straight for that Lulu, and he will be able to get the kill with his ultimate, just barely though. She went right into the line of fire. And now it looks like Elise is gonna, well, pretty much all three of them down at the bottom gonna go take that tower out. That puts the blue team now firmly ahead in gold. First time that since we joined the game that's happened. And Ezreal now just putting a ton of damage onto that to Amumu, but you know, Amumu don't care. Amumu is a tank. Elise right now coming in onto that Amumu, and Ezreal picks up the kill on Amumu with a nice Mystic shot. I think it was a Mystic shot anyway. I have to assume so. Meantime, Katarina just being really, really gutsy here, going up against both Kennen and Veigar, and the Zed going ahead and pushing middle here. This is certainly not looking good for the purple team at all. That middle tower is taking a beating, and Zed comes in here, pops his ult, pops everything onto that Veigar. Veigar takes a little damage, not a whole lot though. In the meantime, Graves does get the kill on Elise, and wow, Zed gets the kill on Veigar, just barely though. He did have to flash out to avoid the Lulu whimsy. Never thought I would say somebody has to avoid getting whimsied. But, c'est la vie. I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up to times 2 just because, you know, we're only seeing farming now. I know you guys don't want to see farming. I don't blame you. Really, nobody wants to see farming. We all want to see the big battles and stuff like that. Looks like Zed right here trying to do some damage to this Graves. And wow, Zed with a nice shadow walk. Or living shadow rather. Yeah, that's the thing. Nice living shadow to the other side of Graves, where Graves was heading this direction. Zed had his living shadow in here. Zed was running this direction. Living shadow popped over here. So it was easy for him to get away. And looks like now Zed and Ezreal gonna go ahead and take Dragon with the help of obviously Soraka, and yeah, Soraka and Elise gonna go ahead and protect them, and blue team now is about 3,000 gold in the lead, and this Zed right now trying to take out that Veigar, but Veigar may actually, no, Veigar actually does die to Zed right there. I believe he died to Zed's ultimate, the final tick of it at least, and Ezreal gets the kill on Lulu with his ultimate. Very good ult right there by Ezreal, but really there was a very, you know, his ult covered this entire area, so unless she quickly dipped over here, she was gonna die. Let's just be frank, alright? It was a good ult, but she was also in the wrong spot. The meantime, this Katarina going ahead and going to get her bracers. I forget the name for the life of me. I know one of them has it here. Here we go. Seeker's Arm Guards. There we go. She's going to work towards her Seeker's Arm Guards because Veigar's already got his, and, she knows that Veigar can alter, and she pretty much always gets one shot. What is Veigar's ult doing down right now? 375 plus 302 plus 80% of the target's AP. Katarina has 157. Let's just round up and say she has... Well, let's round down and say she has 100. That's an extra 80 damage. But obviously she's closer to 200. So it'll be about 160 damage. Yeah, that hurts. Plus, it is negated by magic resist, which Katarina has plenty of. But when you toss in, stuff like, hey, Baleful Strike and Event Horizon, then you have a recipe for disaster on your hands versus a Katarina. Well, Katarina has a recipe for disaster on her hands for herself, I should say. And this Elise just playing very, very, very gutsy here. It would be wise for her to go ahead and back out because she may, she doesn't know where everybody else is. In the meantime, Katarina trying to get her ult off here. She doesn't manage to do so, but she does die to Kennen and Amumu up top here. And Amumu picks up the kill with a straight up auto attack. In the meantime, this Ezreal trying to push the lane, and he's doing so very, very well. Zed gets the kill on Veigar, which good for him. But you gotta remember, Zed's taking a lot of damage in return from Veigar, so Veigar's doing something right. It's just against an ADC. I'm gonna, melee ADC. Really, any, non-AP mid will do good versus a Veigar. Let's be honest here. Decent bends and shots right there by Amumu, allowing Graves to pick up the kill on Ezreal right there. And that's Soraka trying to run away, but isn't able to. She dies right there to Graves. So good double kill for Graves right there. And this Zed right now just getting caught out here. And wow. I've got no idea what Zed was trying to do there. He could have actually been able to run. He could have actually ran. In the meantime, Lulu gets killed right there by Elise. But Elise gets the kill, or gets killed rather, by Graves. Giving Graves more gold, and giving him the red buff. Because, hey, why not, right? But at least Zed did take out this middle tower, so very, very good for him. And they did a little minor damage to that tower, and this tower is taking some heat as well. So this middle tower actually for the blue team, yet to take all that much damage. Just saying on that one. Zed well, not just Zed, but the entirety of the purple team has to kind of push mid in order to take this tower. And I don't know if they realize it or not yet. Excuse me, just, trying to drink here because it sucks when your, throat gets dry and your mouth gets dry at that. But hey, look at this. Seeker's Arm Guard on Katarina. We've got a Haunting Geist as well, and an Abyssal Scepter as well as her Sorcerer Shoes. For Elise, we've got an Abyssal Scepter. We've got Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. And as well as a Spirit of the Ancient Golem. Okay. And regular Stage 1 boots. For Zed, we have Blade of the Rune King, Black Cleaver. He's also got his Mercury Treads with Home Guard, and I don't know what he's working towards. For Ezreal, Bloodthirster, he's got the Spirit of the Elder Lizard. He also has his Berserker Greaves, and I would have to assume working towards a Last Whisper. Meantime, it looks like this Elise dies to Graves right here. Very good play by Graves. And poor play at that by Elise. This Ezreal gets caught up by Amumu's ult just on the edge of it though. And Ezreal trying to actually slow this Amumu down. Meantime, Katarina trying to get a kill on somebody here. And no, Veigar gets the kill on Katarina. Zed gets the kill on Lulu. And Zed right now is out for blood as well. but Kennen is as well, and Kennen comes in here. Kennen's gonna ult, and she gets Soraka, and Soraka dies to the Kennen ult. Very good play by Kennen right there. So, yeah. As I was saying, just item-wise, Ezreal's got Bloodthirster, Spirit of the Elder Lizard, and I believe working towards a Last Whisper. Soraka has a Ruby Sightstone, Philosopher's Stone, a Cage is a Lucky Pick, and that is really it, working towards a, I guess, Aegis of the Legion. And then you have Kennen, who has Will of the Ancient, has an Abyssal Scepter, is working towards a Rabadon's Death Cap now, and has her Sorcerer Shoes. I actually can't tell if Kennen's a guy or a girl. I'm gonna have to assume a girl. I'm assuming, so I'm probably making ass out of me and a little bit of you. Wow, I don't know why Amumu got a Warmogs when there's a Blade of the Ruined King in play here by Zed. Like, that actually really hurts versus an Amumu that, well, versus any tank that has a lot of health. You gotta remember, Blade of the Ruined King does, what is it? Does 5% of the target's current health as bonus physical damage. And then if he activates it on Amumu, that's 15% of Amumu's maximum health gone. Like, just straight up gone. So, Warmog's definitely not the best choice, but it's an okay choice. He also has a Spirit of the Ancient Golem. He has the Ninja Tabby and a Kindle Gem. Veigar has an early Zhonya's. He's got a Tear of the Goddess, which that's almost maxed out. He's got a Fiendish Codex, his Blasting Wand, and Sorcerer Shoes. What does Graves have? Graves has a Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, Zeal, Berserker Greaves, and working towards a Phantom Dancer. Lulu has an Locket of Iron Solari, Shirley's Reverie, and level 1 boots. Support items are support items. You're always going to get them no matter what. Just depends on the order you decide to get them in. The biggest difference between Lulu and Soraka has GP10 items still, whereas Lulu doesn't, and that's still going to help Soraka. As we can see, it's still about a 200 gold difference, and that gold difference is only going to climb while Soraka has those GP10 items. The blue team right now doing a very gutsy move here, going for Baron. The purple team knowing full well that the blue team is trying to do Baron, and now the blue team is going to go and back out here after they took some very hefty damage on Zed and some damage on Elise. But I like this play that the blue team is doing. They're trying to let the lanes push a little bit and catch the purple team out. Like, just out of position in general. Although, I don't necessarily agree with this Veigar getting not having his Tear of the Goddess maxed out already. Granted, it's just about maxed out, but we never know. And wow, this Elise really trying to be gutsy here. Amumu gets a nice ult off onto everybody. Nice ult by Lulu too, knocking everybody up, and Graves picks up the kill on Elise. Nice ult right there by Kennen trying to get somebody as well. Wow, actually, yeah, Katarina gets the kill on Kennen. Ezreal gets the kill on Amumu, and Graves gets the kill on Katarina. Ezreal gets the kill on Veigar, and now Ezreal's in a very commanding position. He has Soraka by his side, and Soraka obviously can heal him. And he also has Zed by his side to tank a hit or two. Zed now has a Last Whisper, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him build a Warmogs as well. But that tower is definitely going down, and so that inhibitor should be going down as well. That Ezreal's just I'm trying to think of the correct word here. That Ezreal is really the Honey Badger in disguise. Honey Badger don't care. And he's, like that other meme, ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. And, yeah. Top tower goes down, bottom tower goes down. or it should be going down here in the next 2 seconds or so, and that it does. I don't know why Ezreal backed out here, but yeah. Graves now working towards... Why is he going... Well, actually, no, Guardian Angel is a very, very solid item for an ADC. Not going to question that. Totally forgot those 2 items are all you need for a Guardian Angel. My bad. And Zed right now getting a Giant's Belt. What are you up to, Zed? Like, that kind of throws me off. It could be for a Frozen Hammer, or Frozen Mallet, rather. Could be for Warmogs, could be for, 9 different, well, technically about 5 different things. We'll have to see. And LOL, they made Baron go ahead and attack that Elise, and she's definitely not too happy about it. And LOL, double ward. Like, you guys can actually see that double ward right there. And that's just going to give Elise, 50 more gold. Well, technically 25 right now, but Amumu with a very, very bad Dark Event Horizon right there by Veigar, because Katarina was still stunned by the ult from Amumu. He could have waited another second and been fine with that. And Veigar dies to Ezreal right there. Ezreal gets a nice last hit off. And in the meantime, Katarina gets the kill on Lulu there with, I believe, Blade. Yeah, that thing. Sinister Steel. It's now known as that thing. No, quite literally though, Sinister Steel gets the kill, and yeah, looks like now the purple team, or blue team, is going to go ahead and try and go for Baron. Katarina's trying not to die here. She's juking, driving in and out of combat here. She... Really, nobody on the purple team or blue team wants to die, but Elise quite literally can tank, and did just tank Baron for about 5 seconds or so. And now here's where the creep score matters less. Hero kills matter way more. As we can see, this Katarina is 3-4-4 versus the 3-2-4 of Kennen. So Kennen's doing a little better. We got the 5-6-6 Elise versus the 4-4-15 Amumu. Then we have an 8-5-2 Zed versus a 6-6-7 Veigar. We've got a 6-5-6 Ezreal versus 11-4-7 Graves. And a 1-6-13 Soraka versus a 2-7-14 Lulu. And actually, I lied. The creep kill or hero kills barely matter, except for that right there. Very good play, very good event horizon right there by Veigar. And he did have to pop everything though to get the kill. But you know what? More power to him. He gets the extra 3 AP from his Baleful Strike. Very good for him. Meantime, I'm still confused on why Elise doesn't have her level 2 boots. Whether it be Sorcerer Shoes, Mercury Treads, Ninja Tabby, whatever. You generally want to have your level 2 boots by 35 minutes into the game, which, 34:50. It's, technically 35 minutes in. This Katarina with a decent ult, and Kennen gets ulted right there by Lulu, and that actually does save her for now. But yeah, this Katarina going just straight up against everybody. Zed gets the kill on the tower, which obviously that's not a huge, huge thing. That tower is going to die either way. But Katarina right now doing a ton of damage. In the meantime, Elise gets the kill on Veigar over here. Wow, Lulu gets the kill on Elise. Graves gets the kill on Zed. Katarina gets the kill on Graves, and Katarina now trying to run for her life versus Amumu, and she should be able to. And she actually goes on to Lulu, gets the kill on Lulu, and now it's running for her life versus that Kennen and Amumu. Meantime, Kennen gets the kill on Soraka, and wow, this Katarina really, really does not want to die. Whereas this Amumu is just like, yeah, you're gonna die. And now that's a ballsy thing right there to have happen. Ezreal picks up the kill on Amumu, and that is 2 inhibitors, well, actually no inhibitors down. Wow. Ezreal definitely has to take that inhibitor out to make it worth it. Katarina's got to help him, and there we go. That inhibitor is going down. They're going to try and focus this inhibitor, but I don't know, we've got like a minute left in the game before I guess we catch up to live or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, just looking at the items right now, Katarina has, her Haunting Geist. She's working towards a Relic Crystal Scepter, which she actually has now. She has her Abyssal Scepter. She has Haunting Geist for more Magic Pen. She has her Sorcerer's Shoes, and she has her Zanya's Hourglass. What does Elise have? Elise still has level 1 boots, Spirit of a Spectral Wraith. She has Spirit of the Ancient Golem, an Abyssal Scepter as well, and a Relic Crystal Scepter. Zed now has a Randuin's Omen, Blade of the Rune King, Last Whisper, and Black Cleaver, as well as Mercury Treads with Home Guard. Ezreal has a Bloodthirster. He also has a Zephyr. He has a Spirit of the Ancient Lizard, or Elder Lizard rather, a Last Whisper, and a BF Sword. And Soraka has support items. Kennen has a Rabadon's Death Cap, an Abyssal Scepter, has a Will of the Ancients, is working towards a Zanya's Hourglass. Amumu has standard jungle items. Actually, speaking of Amumu, Kennen actually gets the kill, or Kennen dies right there to ult by Katarina. The K's going off there. Zed getting the kill on Graves, Elise getting the kill on Amumu, and wow, Elise getting the kill on Veigar as well. After Zed gets the kill on Lulu, Lulu gets the kill on Zed apparently, and that's just GG. That was quite literally GG no re. But yeah, Amumu has a Warmogs. He also has Spirit of the Ancient Golem. He has a Locket of Iron Solari. He has Ninja Tabi, and that is it. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it here because we can tell who the blue team won. But again, just item-wise, the blue team had better items. They also had, 2 pseudo tanks versus just the 1 tank of Veigar. I mean, not Veigar, I'm sorry, Amumu. And again, that Blade of the Rune King from Zed definitely played into a big part of, Mumu dying several times. But you know what, guys? That is it. That, again, shows you have to go ahead and get the global objectives, get the towers, get Dragon, get your buffs, and you will, well, obviously, as well as getting good team engagements, but with all that combined, you have a recipe for success. A lot of cooking stuff, references going on here. I don't know. But anyway, guys, my name is Vince Shout as well. I will talk to you all next time.